I'm originally from Guyana, South America. I leave Guyana because I was being bashed by police and persons from the society at large because I'm a trans woman, and being in the US, I would feel more comfortable in my own skin and be myself. Coming here, it was like very hard for me to like use subways when the police are there. I was that scared for them like to stop me and question me and ask me stuff because I didn't know like my rights. And sometimes it's like when you get on the train, people be watching you, and it's like you're so scared, like because you're new. So it's like you don't have no one there with you to back you.
There are several key areas that make it incredibly difficult for someone to access meaningful legal representation for their immigration case. First and foremost, there simply are not enough immigration attorneys to deal with the need that has come about since the Trump administration. After that, accessing the attorneys that are available can be incredibly difficult. Wait times at legal service providers, free lawyers, are incredibly long, and it is very, very difficult to figure out whether or not you have a competent and appropriate private attorney because the industry generally is not particularly well regulated. Finally, the act of looking for an attorney is traumatizing, or can be traumatizing in and of itself, because you're having to talk about this incredibly difficult, incredibly painful story over and over and over again as you sort of shop yourself around to try and find someone who will help you. There is an effect where the client just feels sort of conveyor belt pushed through these different offices. They don't totally understand what is happening, and they don't totally feel engaged in the process. And I don't think that this makes for terribly good outcomes. The Pro Se Clinic does a few incredibly powerful things, and first and foremost, it gets people at least some interaction with a lawyer who, New Sanctuary Coalition doesn't do any direct representation. We don't represent anyone, but we can help people begin to navigate some of these processes and apply for changes of venue, asylum applications, things like that themselves, so they can maintain their legal rights while they're still searching for an attorney. Clinic takes down the sense of isolation that I think a lot of immigrants are experiencing right now, because they're moving through a world and through a city and through a cultural shift in the United States that really tells them that they're not welcome, that they don't belong, and that no one is really here to help them. And one of the most powerful things New Sanctuary does is provide this very large physical space where people walk in and they see 100 other people who are in the same situation they're in. They see 100 other people who are also going to court and asking for more time and calling legal service providers and not being able to get through and just living every day in this constant fear. But it's mitigated at least a little bit when you see that you're not the only person who is doing this. Your story is not in isolation.
I feel safe and welcoming to be a part of the New Sanctuary Coalition, because from the time you walk through that door, everyone is just like welcoming. I felt the connection because they were like different persons from different countries. They were people of different culture. So it allows me to open up. Oh, my volunteers, they were the sunshine. They were like reading everything throughout the process, and like going to the computer and finding like if I had needed any information, like guiding me through everything. So it's not like if I had to work on my own, and it's not like if they're pushing papers towards me. They did help me understand both my rights and working around the immigration system.
Ria was an incredible client to work with. She is one of the strongest people I've ever met in my life. I'm incredibly grateful that she found me through NSC, because as strong as she is and as smart as she is, it's still a hell of a system to go up against all by your lonesome.
My asylum case was approved. My heart has filled. I feel like I just feel joyful. Knowing the fact of all that I've been through, it's like there is no turning back. So now I can just live my life to please me.